Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good evening. Happy Saturday night. Welcome to Jazz Texas. Thanks for tuning in to the Doc Watkins Show. My name is Doc Watkins. I'm joined by Brandon Guerra back there on the drums and Mike Porter on the bass. My guest tonight is the incomparable Emily Gimble. We're going to get to the music in just a minute, but first, let's have a look at the Jazz Texas news. The University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, abruptly decided it will no longer hold in-person classes on campus after 130 students tested positive for COVID-19 in the first week since classes began. Meanwhile, USC will remain open because incoming students there don't take tests at all. Madonna turned 62 this week. The pop legend has announced a new tour that'll feature her greatest hits, but with updated song titles that address the fact that she's now in her 60s. Those song titles are Borderline is now Borderline Personality Disorder. Papa Don't Preach is Granddaddy Don't Preach. Vogue will become AARP. See, because Vogue, like AARP, is a magazine. Open Your Heart will be Open Your Pacemaker. Who's That Girl will become Who's That Nana. And finally, Like a Virgin will be Like a Used Up Harlot. According to a new Brazilian study, the composition of the tears that reptiles cry is similar to that of human tears. This makes sense considering the fact that the most common reason humans cry is depression, while reptiles cry tears of joy after biting humans. Comedy actor Eugene Levy received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Newport Beach Film Festival from co-stars Steve Martin and Martin Short. Levy was so touched by the video tribute that he visibly had tears in his eyes by the end. Fortunately, those tears were not shared by any reptile nearby, as they would have bitten him. And finally, for the 43rd anniversary of Elvis Presley's death, a socially distanced candlelight vigil was held at Graceland by the 720 people who were given access to the grounds. In a tribute to what made the king famous, the Elvis fans enjoyed peanut butter fried banana sandwiches and culturally appropriated music made popular by black artists. That's it for the Jazz Texas News. Well, I'd like to offer a toast, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to Jazz Texas. If you've ordered your dinner and your drinks from us tonight, thank you. We're now doing curbside and delivery, and we want to encourage you to tune in with us tomorrow night for our 4th anniversary show. We've got a special menu behind the bar and in the kitchen, and we've got a special show for you tonight, so we'll be live tomorrow night from at 8 o'clock for a special show. So I hope you can join us, and here's to great food, music, drinks, and friends. Cheers, everybody. This is the Fine and Dandy cocktail, by the way, which is delicious, and you can order it from here anytime. All right, we'd like to start out with a tune entitled Green Dolphin Street, and we hope you enjoy. Here goes. That's Green Dolphin Street. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the show tonight. I want to give a big shout out to Caitlin Hill, who's back there behind the audio board doing all the audio engineering for us for our shows, and also to our producer and cameraman, Mr. Chris Zients. With Wizard Broadcasting. Also, we want to give a big shout out to our new sponsor, Pearl Beer, who has graciously come along to sponsor the show with us, and also our media sponsor, KRTU 91.7. Pearl Beer and KRTU, thank you all so much for coming alongside us and for helping us out during these times and for being a part of the live streams. We can't say thank you enough. Moving along with the music, we want to do a tune now that's a bossa nova tune by Antonio Carlos Jobim. This one's entitled Wave. That's Wave by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, my special guest tonight is one of my favorite singers and piano players of all time, anywhere in the world. And I'm not reading that from the page, everybody. I really mean it. Born into a musical dynasty, she's the granddaughter of Texas country fiddler legend Johnny Gimble, and joined the Grammy-winning group Asleep at the Wheel in 2014. She was just named Texas State Musician of the Year by the Texas Commission on the Arts, just right here in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Miss Emily Gimble. Hey, Emily, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. This is totally beneath you.
Yeah, well, maybe if I was standing on top of the computer, it would be somehow. Yeah.
Emily, I want to know, how does it feel to be the 2020 Texas Music Artist of the Year?
It's an honor to be named that. I love Texas, so it's a great honor. It's a little overwhelming, too.
Did you ever dream when you were growing up as a kid with your father as a musician and your grandfather as a musician and with musicians all around you, did you ever dream that you would be in that group with them?
Well, we always played together. So in that way, yes. Like every Christmas we would play, they called it that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, we were always playing music. So in that way of communicating, yes.
So I'm curious to ask this because growing up, I didn't grow up in a musical household per se, and so it always felt like doing music was something that was personal to me and everything. But with growing up in a musical household like you did, with music all around you, with your family members and your relatives and multiple generations, did you ever feel a conscious shift between music as just something that was part of your life versus it being like a professional thing, like a job?
Yeah, I mean, once I moved to Austin and I had to start getting enough work to pay rent, then it became that sort of thing, and then before everything was shut down, I was playing like 4 or 5 nights a week, and sometimes it starts to feel like work a little bit.
So the childhood memories weren't enough to pay the bills?
I kept them in a jar. Yeah.
Have you ever walked up to somebody like a bouncer that didn't want to let you in and say, "Do you know who I am?"
Oh yeah, and then they go, "No, I don't. Go on."
Yeah. Well, Emily, thank you for being on the show. You're recently married, by the way. People may or may not know that, but would you bring Michael on?
Yeah, come over here. Come on. He's like he needs some.
Is he kind of shy? Yeah, it's like he's. Yeah. Before I came on the show, I was like, it's like you had a treat or something. Like he's not an animal. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, congratulations, man. It's good to see you guys.
It's good to see you too.
It's nice to hear y'all play.
Thank you. It's nice to be playing with these guys. We're back together this week. We've played the last three shows together, and it's been like 2 months since we've even seen each other. And as soon as we saw each other, we started fighting just like old times and arguing about the same stuff. And we got into Jeffrey Epstein and the stock market and all kinds of, it was like right back where we picked up.
We actually had our drummer over today for our first trio rehearsal since March.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So Mike, I didn't even realize, at the beginning when Emily started playing with the trio, and Emily, you were playing like every other month, you would take, every Wednesday happy hour, and you brought the trio, and Michael was your bassist. I didn't even realize you guys were a thing, and then I realized you guys were a thing, and then all of a sudden you just eloped. You did what everybody that's engaged just wants to do, which is like, you know what, this is just a huge pain, and let's get out of here and go do this thing. You guys just took off and got married, right?
We did, yes.
We did. I have played enough weddings to know that I didn't want to have a wedding. I just want to have a party, and we planned to have a party.
Yeah.
When was it?
We were going to have it in June.
Yeah, I wanted to have it at the beginning of summer, so all of his Canadian family would have to come down to Texas and experience the sheer heat, so they would know. But that didn't work out. We're going to have to do it next year sometime.
That's right.
We did get married quick. It was the best decision.
Yeah, we had a feeling something was going to happen. We figured we better get this done.
Then we got married on February 29th, so right before everything got shut down, pretty much.
So Michael, so now you've married into this family of music, multi-generation. Now you guys are like not only just an item in a thing in a married couple, but you're also like, I mean, do you feel pressure to be the next, to carry the legacy of the Gimble family name musically? I'm not saying you should. I just want to know, do you?
Not at all. I'm working on the Archer family name. I'm going to let her handle the Gimble thing.
Gimbler.
The Gimbler.
Are you ever worried that if you blow it, Michael, that like, I mean, you feel like maybe she just married you for your money, and if you...
Oh, totally.
Yeah. She knows I've got so much hidden away, way up north.
Yeah.
The great thing about being a jazz musician is you don't ever have to worry about a girl being into you because of your money. Takes care of that right away, Now, for my stockbroker friends and insurance salesman friends, I can't say the same because they make such a living of Ponzi schemes. But with musicians, we don't have anything to do with that. So,
what are you drinking there? What's this drink? I didn't get to hear about it.
it's a fine and dandy, and it makes me reveal secrets about my insurance company and how they've handled the pandemic. Don't get me started. When you pay somebody, over $100,000 over the course of 4 years, and then they head for the hills when the times get tough. Everybody in the restaurant business is because none of. Well, I mean, everyone in the bar and restaurant business, we're all. I mean, in all honesty, and with all due respect to the insurance companies that I love dearly, and they're very good friends of mine, but no, they're actually screwing us all, and I mean, everybody knows that, and you could read about it in the paper. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about y'all.
Hey, we're down with whatever. Let's hear it.
Yeah. So all right. So back to the music. We're going to do a whole segment called JazzTexas and the Insurance Business. But that's another thing. So in any case, so Emily, so I want to know what it was like. You came out of the Gimble family tradition. You joined Asleep at the Wheel early on in your career, and then you had a lot of gigs with them, a lot of road experiences, and then you started your own career. Well, you went out on your own name, and I remember reading an article, I think in the Austin American-Statesman a few years ago, saying, you went out on your own just like Paul McCartney did, and the guy from Chicago, and the guy from the Eagles. I don't remember their names, and then there was and Emily Gimble is now out on her own. I mean, what are you gonna? Why haven't you been doing lots of live shows in the last few months?
I know. We took a break because we live in an old shanty that needs lots of TLC. So Michael is now a full-time plumber, and I've been doing other projects. Mm-hmm. I organized our shed. Now we're into a little bit of rodent control.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want to hear about this.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this story, Emily, that I loved your music before we even met for the first time. And as soon as you came and played your first gig, I fell in love with your music. But when I really, really, really fell in love with you as a person and a musician and everything, and Michael, I'm married, and I'm not literally romantically in love. Let me start over. When I really came to a deep respect for Emily was she was up here right where I'm sitting with a packed house during the happy hour on a Wednesday night, and she said, she played something like Tennessee Waltz and did the most beautiful interpretation that I've ever heard, and everybody went nuts, and she said, oh, thanks everybody, it's so nice to be playing music. The last couple days I've been swinging a hammer, and everyone kind of laughed. And then she's like, yeah, I bought this house and I've been remodeling it, and I've been tearing out sheetrock and building stud walls and working with tools and saws, and I hope I don't cut off my fingers and everything, but I'd like to do this next song, which was made famous by Frank Sinatra. And I was like, this is awesome, because if no one should ever be afraid to just go after a drywall, a sheetrock wall with a sledgehammer. There should never be any fear. And Emily was like, from then on, we were tracking.
Yeah. Well, my parents always remodeled houses growing up. Your parents do the same thing. So
now they do, yeah.
That's just the way we did it. I don't know if it's the smart thing to do. And especially not when you have to take a shower outdoors for a year. I don't tell many people about that, but now everybody knows about it.
Well, I got into sheetrock demo when one day in college I misplaced drugs, and I thought that they were over here, and then I was like, I think they got walled up, and I was like, I think the only way in there was with a hammer through the sheetrock, and I reached, and they weren't there, and I ended up, by the time you knew it, I had a totally remodeled house. Still never
That's
found
wonderful.
my drugs.
Oh, what we're gonna find in our walls. I'm so excited.
I don't know.
Yeah, before you take it all to the dump, you know, whenever you tear down a wall, look and see what's in there, because it could be, you never know.
Hey Doc, is this the same piano that you're playing on? I noticed you had a different piano a few
Well,
weeks ago.
we had a different piano. Actually, I was playing a brand new Kawai piano that was donated by Alamo Music as part of the quarantine. And they called me like a week ago and they said, you know, it's quickly turning into a used piano. And they sent their guys, and they took it back. So we're back to this one. But I'm really appreciative.
I was so bummed I was never going to get to play it again.
And as we speak, there's actually some movers taking out the chairs. No, I'm joking about that. All right. Well, but no, I do love that. This is like my battle horse, my battle axe piano. It was built in 1923, the year I was born, and ever since that we've been inseparable. Me and this piano. It's a Mason Hamlin Model A. It's got a lot of soul, a lot of character, and which is what I love about you guys, that you got a lot of soul in your music. So you know.
Well, we miss seeing y'all. We can't wait to get back in and play sometime when it makes sense. So.
Well, as soon as we can. And guys, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Everybody check out Emily and Michael at emilygimble.com. And guys, until we meet again, okay?
All right. Good to see y'all.
All right. You
Say
too.
hi to Mike. He's back there somewhere. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, there you go.
Mike. Yes.
Later, guys. That's Emily Gimble and Michael Archer, everybody. Congratulations, you guys, on getting married and on everything to come. Thank you for being on the show, y'all. All right, back to the music. We're gonna do a tune. This one is actually for Brandon's mom. This one is for Cindy Guerra, mother of Brandon Guerra. If you can believe that Brandon Guerra actually has a mother, and with that mask, you never know like where the guy came out of, you know. So this is a tune by Hoagie Carmichael called "Georgia on My Mind." Cindy, this one's for you. As Georgia on My Mind by Hoagie Carmichael. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's see, what do we got next here? All right. Oh, we're going to do one of our favorite tunes. This is a tune that comes from the 1930s. It was featured in the first full-length feature film that Disney ever produced almost 100 years ago, called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And this tune is called Someday My Prince Will Come. It was originally performed in the jazz world by the great pianist Bill Evans back in the 1950s. The story goes that he went to see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in the theater, and he thought, man, this is a beautiful tune. I bet if I played this with my band in the nightclub that it would go over really well. And sure enough, it's been a jazz standard ever since, so we hope you enjoy it. This is our interpretation of Someday My Prince Will Come. That's Mike Porter on the bass, Brandon Guerra on the drums. Someday my prince will come. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again. Let's play the board game. Now, by now, I assume everybody knows how the board game works. In case you don't know how the board game works, let me tell you. We pick two famous people, both of whom are boring. We compare and contrast them, and then at the end, I get to decide who's the biggest bore. So, without further ado, let's play. Tonight on the board game, who's more boring, a pit bull or the rapper Pitbull? Well, on the one hand, a pit bull is a type of dog descended from bulldogs and terriers. The pit bull is the only breed to have graced the cover of Life magazine 3 times. 2 were dog pictures, and 1 was a photo of another pit bull, Rudy Giuliani. Actress Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel own pit bulls. However, Oscar-nominated actresses Jessica Lange and Jessica Chastain do not own pit bulls, which proves my theory: only bad actresses like pit bulls. Thanks to their strong sense of smell, pit bulls are great as drug-sniffing dogs, which is ironic considering a lot of Hollywood celebrities own them. 100 years ago, pit bulls used to serve as therapy dogs. Coincidentally, I know many people who are in therapy after being attacked by a pit bull. Contrary to popular belief, pit bulls don't have as strong a bite as German Shepherds and Rottweilers, but that's like saying Bill Gates doesn't have as much money as Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett. On the other hand, the rapper Pitbull is a singer, songwriter, and record producer. His real name is Armando Christian Perez, and he was born to Cuban immigrants in Miami, as opposed to singer Gloria Estefan, also Cuban, whose real name is Labrador Retriever. Pit bulls are great climbers and can even climb walls, whereas the rapper Pitbull is great at climbing the Billboard charts. In 2000, Pitbull joined the Anger Management Tour, a hip-hop concert tour headlined by Eminem and 50 Cent. Ironically, if there's any dog hype that could use anger management, it's Pitbull's. Among his many honors, Pitbull received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. After the ceremony, a dog came by and urinated on his star. The breed of that dog? You guessed it, a Labradoodle. It's a tough call, folks, but if you had to pick who bores you the most, a pit bull or the rapper Pitbull, the correct answer is the rapper Pitbull. And thanks for playing the board game. All right, well, let's get back to some music. I do want to thank, once again, our brand new sponsor, Pearl Beer, for helping us out with these shows and for being a partner with us. You may remember Pearl Beer from a long time ago, maybe, probably long before you were born, as I remember lots of things that happened long before I was born, because I watched the History Channel. Hey, Pearl Beer has been around for a very long time, and they've got a new formula. If you drank Pearl Beer in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000s, you probably remember that it's a horrible tasting beer, and thankfully Pabst Brewing Company has come up with a brand new formula, and now it's a delicious beer. And so we've held out for the last 70 years from accepting any sponsorship opportunities with Pearl Beer, but we're excited to announce that in conjunction with their new release, we are now a proud Pearl Beer advocate. So go out and get you some Pearl Beer. Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys used to drive around in a Pearl Beer truck and play their Western swing music for everybody. So at any rate, thank you to Pearl Beer, and cheers, you guys. There's a little Pearl Beer in that cocktail, by the way. Okay, all right, we're going to do another bossa nova tune for you now. This is a tune by Antonio Carlos Jobim entitled Corcovado. Take it away, fellas. That's Corcovado by Antonio Carlos Jobim. We got time for just one more tune for you tonight, but we want to thank you so much for tuning in this evening on this Saturday night. We hope you'll join us tomorrow for our 4th anniversary party, starting at 8 o'clock here, live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. It's hard to believe that that only 4 years ago we opened this place up, and I know many of y'all were there that opening night, and so thank you for sticking with us for all these years. We hope for another 4 more years. Hey. And we hope you'll join us tomorrow night. So we're going to close out with another song. Before we do, I want to thank one more time Caitlin Hill on the audio and Mr. Chris Zients back there on the cameras. Also, I'd like to thank Brandon Guerra on the drums and Mike Porter on the bass. I'd like to thank my mother and my high school band teacher and my football coach as well, and anyone else who might have had an influence perhaps over all the years. So thank you, everyone. Okay. Also, we want to thank our sponsors. We don't want to forget that because, you know, the high school band teacher, actually, I never had a high school band teacher, so I don't want to waste time with that. I want to go to the important stuff, which is we have wonderful, wonderful sponsors. And JJ Lopez over there at KRTU 91.7, I don't believe he's ever taught high school band. That's my impression of the guy after meeting him and knowing him for many years. So JJ and Monica and all the staff, Corey over there at KRTU, we love you guys. Thank you for being our partner. And also for Pearl Beer, we had the opportunity to work with Pearl and partner with them on a national campaign, and they said, you know what, we'd rather keep it local. We want to focus on the local South Texas community, and so that's what they did, and that's what we're doing with them, and that shows how much they care about San Antonio. And so, you know, buy as much Pearl beer as you can, and if you know, support them, buy the beer, dump it out in the sink, buy some more beer, you know, just buy the beer. That's really all that we're interested in. But we do like the beer. It's incredibly wonderful. And can't thank you guys enough. Okay, without further ado, this is Sweet Georgia Brown. Thank you very much, everybody. Brandon Guerra on the drums, Mike Porter on the bass. We'll see y'all tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Good night.